I know. Don't tune out. Please, everyone, bear with me. AOC and the 2028 lineup. I know they're talking about AOC in the 2028 lineup. That's what we're witnessing here. The Democrats and their 2028 lineup. We actually have it now. It is a thing. And the thing is, the groundwork is being set up for all the contenders who want to go for the big plum prize and as becoming the Democrat nominee for the 2028 election cycle. Why is this important? Because the Fight the Oligarchy tour is the opening shot of the Democrats trying to rebrand their image, hoping to get enough suckers, voters, to consume the hopium copium into believing that this is how things are going to be from here on out. So without further ado, since I'm in charge of the ones and twos, Fox News decided to weigh in on AOC. It's rather kind of funny, and if you think about it, if you really think about it, just enough.
Who's poised to take over this party of chaos and violence? Maybe AOC is emerging as a favorite for 2028. But can she really win the candidacy with statements like these?
Together, these bills not only stop climate change, they tackle the intersecting crises of climate, economic inequality, and racial justice.
Medicare for all would save the American people a very large amount of money. Capitalism has not always existed in the world, and it will not always exist in the world.
The world is going to end in 12 years if we don't address climate change.
12 years. Well, we're still here. So 12 years, that was 2019. So 12 is 19, 9 and 2 is 11, carried to 1. So 2031, it is now 2025. So we've got maybe 6 more years. But according to Elon Musk, we got maybe 4 or 3 more years until AI takes over. So whatever's on your bucket list, make it happen.
Your biggest issue is how are we going to pay for it?
And the New York Congresswoman is on the Fighting the Oligarchy tour with Senator Bernie Sanders while flying to all the stops, in private jets. Pollster Nate Silver says AOC is currently the frontrunner to be the Democrats' next presidential nominee.
My first pick of the first round draft is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has broad appeal across the Democratic Party.
He's not wrong there, which is why I said on Matt Weinglass's show, do you have any idea how much shite we're going to get for being critical of AOC? If what I see is lining up, and this is just my opinion, because I know my colleagues in independent media, they have their own perspectives, and you know what? I think I'm thinking of the worst case scenario. Okay. That's just me. And I could be wrong. And you know what? I want to be wrong, but I see the groundwork being laid out where AOC is going to be the next Bernie. I see the system. I see the groundwork. I see the construction material. I see the blueprints, and it's going to be crazy. It's going to be a madhouse. And then it ends miserably, just like the Bernie Sanders campaign in 2016, 2020. And AOC tells you, hey, guys, we got to vote for the pragmatic Democrat.
And there's a lot of people who could potentially get on board with her. But I think equally important is the fact that she has very fervent support.
Fervent support. Well,
and Birdfinger, listen, right now, I'm going to say it's an opinion before I call it a fact. And look, I want to be wrong. I would love it for my friends to say, hey, Kit, remember you thought of that worst case scenario? Man, I bet you're happy you're wrong. And I would be happy if I'm wrong. It's something I want to be wrong about. I'm just saying it because it's like you see a car crash happening and you want to scream before it happens.
Democrats aren't doing themselves any favors as a recent Gallup poll shows their approval ratings have dropped 25%. Raymond, AOC, right? You took to the streets. You talked to people to get their opinion. What'd they say?
I did indeed. Well, some say that she's the candidate. And if you look at the polling, she is actually outranking. She's within 5 points of Kamala Harris, which is pretty incredible. But look, AOC is a fraud.
Well, let's be clear. Hold on. Kamala Harris never had high numbers.
I know, but Kamala Harris is at the top of the pecking order to lead the party right now.
Oh, listen, Fox News, you just made a stupid decision right there by saying that, man. No, she was appointed up there. The only reason why she was there in the first place is because Klobuchar had a lot of scandals surrounding her. That's why Kamala was made the VP. All right. Kamala's only there just because she was there. Okay. It's like, here's a good analogy. You know, The Simpsons, Krusty the Clown, you know, he has Sideshow Mel, not Sideshow Bob, Sideshow Mel. And Sideshow Mel would always be the quiet one. But as soon as you hear him talk, he has a very intellectual British voice. I'm doing a terrible British impression. And see, Krusty was always in charge. There was only one time the roles were reversed. It was after the season finale when Mr. Burns got shot and the police arrested the wrong person. And Sideshow Mel put on his detective hat and decided to solve the crime with Krusty following along. And Krusty just being like, hey, hey, as soon as he walks into the police station. That's all he said while Sideshow Mel was running the show. Kamala Harris is Krusty the Clown. She's like, hey, everybody, you're just there. You're just there. You're just there.
I mean, but when you hear Nate Silver, you know, the ultimate soy boy, tell us, you know, this is the leader of the party. Okay, take a rest, sit in the back. This is not going to attract them any young male votes, working class votes, minority votes. I just don't see it moving. They represent something that is at odds with the American people and the coalition that Trump has already assembled. But AOC on this anti-oligarchy tour, while we play oligarchs, is pretty good and get financed by them. I don't know how you pull that off.
Well, we have some footage when you went on the show and asked some people. Let's see what they said.
Who do you think is the leader of the Democratic Party today?
I have no idea.
Not at all.
No, none. Right now it's Stephen A. Smith, which I don't understand. But
he'd like to hear that. Who is the leader of the Democratic Party? Don't laugh. Give me an answer.
I know.
It's got to be AOC right now. It seems to be the titular head right now.
Really?
AOC with her, older compadre Bernie Sanders. So
she's pushing the walkers.
I think so. So.
Lydia, what do you think? Do you think it's going to be AOC and Sanders on the next ticket? I don't know.
AOC and Sanders. No. Because already AOC and Sanders, and yes, I'm seeing the live stream chat, people are saying, oh, it looks like Fox News wants AOC 2028 to happen. You're not wrong, because that's content gold, okay? I mean, that's a gold mine for content and video segments and interviews and talking panels. I mean, yes, Fox News is like, it's just like MSNBC and CNN as soon as they realized that they couldn't capitalize on Trump derangement syndrome, because yes, you had corporate media cheering as soon as Trump was defeated in 2020, but then, oh no, their viewership went down. And then when they tried to replicate everything that happened in 2016, 2024, it failed miserably. And that's why CNN and MSNBC are hemorrhaging views. Now, Fox News, I'm going to say this, at least there's some people there who are saying, hey guys, yeah, we actually want this AOC 2028 thing to happen. It's called the money and the views. They want that to happen. They want it to happen. They do. They're begging. They're hoping. They're praying to the God Emperor of mankind to make it happen, because it's content gold.
Kind of surprised that there weren't some other names thrown in there, because there are some other contenders right now. J.B. Pritzker, Andy Bashir. There's some other people that are making a push as well that, they're coming from the executive level. I'm not trying to advocate for them, but I'm just saying, I think.
Yeah, you hear Wes Moore talk about that. The people don't hear that.
David's hysterical over here. Can we just tap into what's going on with you?
I do this every day on radio, 3 hours a day, and I love this stuff. First of all, the ticket should be AOC and Jasmine Crockett. There you go. That's your ticket.
Well, that would make a good brother.
And by the way, that black man that you spoke to, if he's a Democrat, he violated Democrat norms, because he's only supposed to support the black woman, Jasmine Crockett. That's Democrat logic. And I'm making fun of this.
It's not Democrat logic, because listen here, Fox News. Listen, a lot of black voters gave a middle finger to the Democrat Party. Okay? That's a huge thing that happened in 2024. Just be careful who you're insulting, Fox News.
But sarcasm fits here, because this is contrary to the American people and where we are, our desired outcomes, our needs. Let's look at it for what it is. And by the way, if your rating is at 25% and AOC has 50%, she's at 12.5%. I know that's math for Democrats, but let's try this one. That means you can't capture a national election. Here's the truth. Democrats are lost right now. You mentioned Andy Bashir and others. They don't even know who Andy Bashir is. Andy Bashir is going to be like Bart Stupak. Anybody remember him?
Yes, I do.
Pro-life Democrat. They
Turned out.
disappeared him when he
Yep.
didn't. The point being, they don't have any, and I'm okay with that because the American people need good conservative governance in policy and principle, domestic and foreign, and move it forward. And then, you know who benefits? Everybody, or at least more people, including Democrats in America.
Well, they have lost their party, not because of a person,
They
but because
threw it
of their
away.
policies. So they need to get more back to centrist perspective, and it doesn't matter who
They're not going there.
Yes, so let's go ahead and talk about this. Let's go ahead and bring this up here as well. So first of all, let's go ahead and bring this up here. So this is an article from The Hill, the top 10 Democrat contenders for 2028. A cardinal rule of American politics: it's never too early to start thinking about the next election. Third parties, independents looking at you. Some Democrats are likely already making moves that have stoked 2028 speculation, from Governor Gavin Newsom. Hey, Californians, tell us how you feel about Gavin Newsom, especially with his podcasts, which is stupid, to Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez' recent series of rallies alongside Senator Bernie Sanders. Right now, the field is wide open as there's no obvious front runner. Former Vice President Kamala Harris has relatively kept a low profile since her loss to President Trump in November, and even if she ran, she'd face a serious opposition. Why would Harris run again? She failed in 2020. It was a spectacular failure in 2024. And it'd be a complete disaster in 2028. So let's look at the first one. You got AOC, number one, right? You got Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Then you got Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, whose mansion was attacked by an arsonist last week. You got Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmire. Oh my goodness. You got California Governor Gavin Newsom. You got Maryland Governor Wes Moore. Former Vice President Kamala Harris should not even be considered. Democrats, listen. It took her campaign 45 some odd days to have policies on her website. Controversial statement here, but the Greens, the Libertarians, Cornel West's campaign, RFK Jr.'s campaign, Trump's campaign, and all the Democratic challengers in the Democratic primary, including Cenk, Marianne Williamson, Dean Phillips, and yes, even Biden himself. All of them had policies on their campaign website as soon as their websites launched. It took Kamala's campaign 45 plus some odd days to do so. I played a game with my audience. Has she put policies up on her website? We check out the merch store, and that was it. Governor J.B. Pritzker. If I got nothing nice to say, then I'm going to say it right now. Listen, Illinois is in a bad spot. Chicago is in a bad spot. I'm ever fearful for the future of this city and this state. It doesn't look like things are going to be changing anytime soon. I've never seen especially with Chicago, State Street and Michigan Avenue brought a tear to my face, okay? How abandoned most of these stores are, or boarded up they are. Neighborhoods are struggling. Schools are struggling. No. Oh, hey, the guy who can't fight a way out of a wet paper bag, Pete Buttigieg, former transportation secretary. Yeah, how are those planes, trains, and automobiles running under your administration, the bridges and everything else? How's that going? Is it going great? Yes, no, maybe? Former Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel. Listen, people of the free world, my fellow Americans, ask the people of Chicago how they felt about Rahm Emanuel, okay? Ask the people of Chicago how they felt about Rahm Emanuel. Go ahead and ask them. Ask them. And finally, media commentator Stephen A. Smith. You know what? Stephen A. Smith, best known for his sports analysis, seems determined to vault himself in front of the Democrats if Democrats want a non-politician. Smith has talked about being approached by unnamed officials to run, and he's lamented Democrats' lack of direction. I'm going to be wrong about this, but I'm going to make a half-baked prediction. Here's how it will play out in some form or another, but I see it. I'm willing to accept that I'm wrong about this scenario. This is just my opinion. but maybe we can all laugh at it together. 2028, the groundwork is happening. AOC has a quasi or almost close to it Bernie Sanders campaign that mimics what we saw in 2016. And it's a tough fight. And there's only two contenders that I actually do see to be the pragmatic Democrat. And eventually it'll be both of them working together. It would be either number one, Stephen A. Smith, because the Democrats will want a non-politician, somebody like Trump, or they'll go with Rahm Emanuel. I know what I'm saying sounds mad. What I'm saying sounds crazy, but I see that happening, and either Rahm will be the nominee or it'll be Stephen A. Smith. And I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong about this or right about that. I don't know. I want to be wrong about this. And I see them both having a joint campaign. Either Rahm will be president or Stephen A. Smith, or at least getting the nomination, and they'll have a joint ticket for 2028. And AOC will drop out of the race and be like, guys, we got to be pragmatic and support one of these two. Am I wrong? This is a scenario that I just see playing out. It's one path. It's a path that I don't want to go down, but I see it. I want to be wrong. So very, very wrong. What I just said is my opinion, but I could see it happening. Maybe I'm wrong. And it would be a good thing.